I actually never did a video talking about manga, so I don't know how well videos like this will actually turn out for the audience. So I hope it turns out okay, but if you have some ideas to make the video more creative or better or whatever, then feel free to post in the comments. Let's dive in. Created by Takaoka Motofumi and very similar to Shoujo Fukusuke, a manga that I actually never read before, 0930 doesn't have one story, but it has several stories that don't have any connection to each other, but still similar themes. Not counting the full color pages in the beginning, there technically are 7 stories, with one of them being split into 2 parts. I will give you a quick synopsis to each story. Story 1 tells about a married couple that live in an apartment and are good friends with a neighbor that not only seems to be a student, but is also friends with the couple. Just friends. Yeah, who the hell will believe that? One day, the husband goes to work and the wife does housewife things like usual. And like usual, she apparently plays with herself when she is done. At some point the student comes in because seemingly she never heard of locking a door before and sees what she was doing, basically playing with herself. And then you know what follows. She gets embarrassed, he can't stop himself, but then she is the one who can't stop herself. This is probably the most normal the fun gets with a younger dude enjoying an older woman, but then she's the one enjoying him. Story 2 is about a young wife that married an old fart because of political reasons. A salesman tries to sell her products, but he initially wants to just run away because what he is selling aren't the special kind of toys. Despite his embarrassment, he still tries to sell her the stuff after she welcomes him inside. Her naive side is in constant display. Maybe she is even dumb, I don't know. And despite the salesman showing her the most obvious fun toys that everybody knows about, she still asks what the hell they are. And yes, I'm talking about a dildo. She doesn't know what a dildo is. So the result is obvious. He shows her how they work in every way possible. If you like something in the realms of bondage and stuff, then this is the one that comes the closest to that. Story 3 is about a simple man called Seitaro that eats his wife's bento at work. And yes, I really just mean bento. Arriving home, he sees a messy house and her simply doing nothing, but in a fucking hot outfit. I love it. And even though this is not new to him, and seemingly she has always teased him ever since they met, finally he can't take it anymore and wants a divorce. However, his wife Hisae uses a different approach. She accepts the divorce depending on what his body says. And for that, she effectively plays with his fun part, proving that his head might want a divorce, but his body doesn't, while calling him weak and a wuss and stuff. Shortly after, he breaks and turns the cards around. However, he goes into aggressive mode. Don't worry though, obviously she loved the hell out of it, and the talk about divorce is forgotten. This is probably the most violent one, meaning that when Seitaro goes after Hisae, he slaps her here and there, and while she was initially surprised, since to her he has always been a wuss, that is exactly what she wanted out of him this whole time. Story 4 is about a student called Ryoko that decides to fool around with anybody in her class. First victim is a young man called Suzuki, and they were almost going all the way in the bathroom when her teacher called Kazamatsuri drops by and stops the whole thing. Immediately she is called into his office and they have a little discussion. Special discussion. Shortly after, Suzuki drops by, wondering why the hell Ryoko was going to get punished, but he himself wasn't, when he is also as guilty. However, he immediately understood why. She has been already giving the teacher fun times. Suzuki threatened Kazamatsuri-sensei, but Ryoko offers herself to him to protect the teacher. So they go all the way in the office, and yes, Kazamatsuri was the one watching. However, Kazamatsuri jumps in and reveals that Ryoko actually is his wife. So yes, this is a teacher-married student story and nobody knows about it. So if you like that, then here you go. Story 5 has 2 parts. In part 1 we see 3 married women and the younger brother of one of them going into a hotel since they were on some kind of vacation. You know where this is going. In the first part, only 2 of the wives, Eriko and Rumi, are the ones having fun in the onsen with 4 other men. In part 2, the third wife and her brother, Joji, join in and all 8 characters total have fun together in the bedroom. After the trip, of course, everybody acts as nothing ever happened. If you want multiple action at the same time, then you will find it here. And this is the only story that involves a megane. A fucking hot megane. Story 6 is about a young dude named Yamada, which is some kind of caretaker. He was taking care of a young boy named Takeshi until his mother arrives to pick him up. However, Takeshi doesn't want to leave Yamada. Don't think that it's because Yamada is nice. Oh no. Takeshi doesn't want to leave because since his mother Kyoko had a daughter 2 years ago, she is paying a bit more attention to her instead of him. But fuck it, it doesn't end there. Takeshi is jealous of his little sister being able to suck on Kyoko's breasts while he can't anymore. So, for Takeshi to go home, Kyoko opens the way for Takeshi to suck on one of her breasts. Why not both? Because Takeshi wants that Yamada sucks on the other breast. Future serial rapist right there, folks. After a while, Takeshi falls asleep. Kyoko wants to go all the way with Yamada. And sure enough, while both are doing it in front of Takeshi, he still doesn't wake up. And even if Takeshi woke up and saw the whole thing, I doubt Yamada and Kyoko would stop. Heck, I even bet that Takeshi would wanna participate! This is the most fucked up story. Seriously, that kid isn't right in the head. But Kyoko is even worse for giving in to his shit and then do it in front of her own kid. Sure, he was asleep, but fucked up nonetheless. Kyoko even wants to bring her daughter to witness the same. Somebody fucking save the daughter! But hey, this is the only one that involves a little breast milk. Finally, the last story is about a married couple yet again. However, this time the father of a husband is in the picture. Since the wife and husband couple had to move in with the husband's father, every time the husband goes to work, the old fart starts grabbing his daughter-in-law. The longer they stay in the house, the worse it gets. At some point, the daughter of the old fart named Chiaki comes in, saving Miho from having to go all the way. Chiaki has a fight with her own husband, so she simply moves in. Miho is relieved that as long as Chiaki stays, the old fart won't grab her anymore, but that proved to be seriously wrong. He doesn't have a problem with Chiaki seeing anything. Why? Because when Chiaki comes in, she explains that when she was younger, she had her fun with her own father and still continues to do so to this day. After a while, Miho gives in and all 3 enjoy some fun together and want to even bring Miho's husband into the family affair. This is not the only story containing incest. Another example is the 2-part story as well. But hey, hands down for the hot Chiaki. That's it about the individual stories. I don't think I need to say anything about the style at all since you've been watching the pictures, but I like it. Our wives are shaved, but have a nice pair of tits. The stories are different and each one has their own fetish of some sort, as well idiot characters, but overall they are still fine to read with a hint of comedy here and there. However, all these stories have one thing in common. Since the females usually are the ones that start the whole thing and trigger the male's circuit, they shouldn't be surprised when they get dicked in the end. But hey, all of them like it and find out about their individual fetishes. Sometimes you simply need to be aggressive. That's all. Not every fetish is my thing. For example, the second story with the grown-up toys wasn't my thing at all, but hey, even that was decent. Simply put, just read it.